Hi everyone, Lisa NOONIS here. I hope you're doing well. Today's video is about mounting small works on paper to wood panel. And truth be told, this is not a process I do here in the studio. It requires the proper mechanical equipment, the proper adhesives, and the proper skill set. And I don't have any of those things. So I work with David Pratt at D. Pratt Framers. And David's been kind enough to allow me to his shop to videotape a demonstration of him mounting one of my small paintings on paper to wood panel. So a couple of things before we head over. I want to just mention again that I'm using acrylic paints and graphite and often collage on paper. And so this particular mounting press has taken into consideration those materials. And as David will talk about, it's really important to know and understand the materials that are being used on the artwork before it goes through the mounting process. The other thing I want to mention is that I use Rex Art for my custom-made wood panels for small works. And over the years I have learned to order those panels slightly smaller than the original artwork. What happens when they go into the mounting press is often they contract, and you end up with a little bit of extra panel showing around the artwork. So to avoid this, I order my panels slightly smaller so that accommodates for the contraction in the paper. So without any further ado, I hope you enjoy this video, and please leave your comments and questions below.
The adhesive we're using is a PVA, which is a polyvinyl acetate. Basically, it's most of your white glues like Elmer's and other types like that. And they're all what they call thermoplastic, and that means they're heat activated. So if you get the heat high enough, you will re-amalgamate or melt the glue. So that's how we do some of the mounting we do is mostly with heat, and other times we'll do it with a little bit of heat and mostly vacuum. In this case, because it's an acrylic paint, if you get the temperature too hot, let's say 150 and up, then you're going to melt the paint, and then you're going to change the surface of it. The epoxy will go flat, and there's a number of problems that you could actually pull away the paint with the release paper. I try to keep mine around 110 degrees when I do it. That tends to not interfere with the paint too much, but it'll also it'll dry it out, because you need to be able to dry the moisture out of the paint while it's still under vacuum so that it will bond properly. Usually I will do up to 10 minutes on a mount for that type at about 110 degrees, and that seems to work most of the time. Oil paintings are a little bit different. Canvas is a little different because we're mounting on paper today. It's one of the simplest things to mount, and they're very straightforward.
The first step is to apply the adhesive to the gessoed wooden panel. David's using a small foam roller to cover the surface of the panel, making sure to get a nice even coat and paying particular attention to the edges. The next step is to position the artwork onto the panel. Now the glue takes about a minute to start setting up, so there's a little bit of wiggle room in the event we need to reposition the artwork onto the panel. But it's good to be as precise as possible and to work as quickly as possible. Obviously, he's a pro at this. Once he has it positioned on the panel, he'll apply some light pressure to the piece to make sure that it's stable before he puts it into the press. One quick note, there is no varnish on this painting at this point. I usually wait until after the painting's been mounted to apply any varnish. Next, David will put a piece of release paper over the surface of the painting to protect it, and into the press it goes. As he mentioned earlier, there are several settings involved: temperature, time, and vacuum. This is a good example of what the readouts look like. After 10 minutes, it's time to take the painting out of the press and see how we did. David will gently remove the release paper, and it looks like we've got a pretty good mount. No ripples, no bubbles. I'm pretty happy with this. Now it's time for the final fixative and varnish. I really like these two products, Grumbacher's Matte Final Fixative and Liquitex's Satin Varnish. A quick spray of the fixative will set any graphite, and a quick brushing of the satin varnish will protect the painting and will also bring out the colors. Once this is done, the process is complete. If you're interested in mounting your artwork to panel, look for a professional who has the proper equipment, skill set, and who's willing to find the best mounting solution for your work. Thanks a lot for watching.